Hey y'all, what's up? So I am working with a client right now where we are designing a training specifically about cultural appropriation. Part of it is because the company that I'm working with is specifically doing storytelling or narrative, which I think is very important. I think it's a very important part of a lot of work, including research, telling people's stories. And so what I think is really interesting about our conversation right now is not just defining cultural appropriation, but also giving examples of how it happens, how it can infiltrate the work that we do unintentionally, and what does that mean as far as personal or corporate gain, okay? And usually people think of cultural appropriation, especially around Halloween, where it's a tradition of Halloween to wear a costume, but when does that cross this line of taking on someone's deep identity? And then when we go into organizations, regardless of the industry, what does it mean to take on an identity that then creates some type of monetary gain? So what does it mean to monetize something? So I guarantee you that women who are not Black, who, for example, put cornrows in their hair and they modeled and made money off of that, they did not know that they were tapping into a culture that directly connects with Black hair, connects back to slavery, connects back to the Underground Railroad and the mapping of the Underground Railroad in those cornrows and braids in their hair. There's a lot of things that they may not have known. Now, some knew, but some may not have known. And so what does it mean to take on someone's identity for the sole purpose of gain, right? And so given that, I think we can see it in a lot of different places, whether it's someone who is not in a particular identity community and they take on that identity in order to make money from it as an actor, for example. Like, I've always wondered that question around, is it okay? No, I don't think it's okay to take on, just as I wouldn't expect a non-Black person to take on a Black role. I wouldn't a specifically written Black role because Blackness is part of the plot. I also would not expect someone who is not part of the LGBTQIA community or not part of a particular identity to take on that role. So that's what I'm developing a training around. It's getting very interesting because we're not just talking about race and ethnicity the way they thought we were going to contain the conversation just to that identity group. So we'll see what I come up with. I think visuals are going to be very important in the presentation, so we'll see how this goes. I've presented on cultural appropriation before, but I'm working with an organization that is well on their DEI journey and is very well equipped to handle more sophisticated conversations about this particular topic. So this will not be the first time they've heard of cultural appropriation, and they're not going to limit their conversation. So we'll see how this goes, y'all. Cultural appropriation, not just about Halloween.